to Behind the Message. My name is Doug Vance, and I'm the community pastor at Yorkville. And I'm here with Ted Canaris, who's our community pastor in Downers Grove. And Ted, you just got done delivering week 4 of our message series in Starting Over.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, just an impactful time series.
Yeah.
But I think like this one, I feel like we're turning a corner a little bit.
Definitely.
That we've been addressing, looking at our regrets, releasing our regrets. And then all of a sudden, I think today, we're really talking about that transition into redemption.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this series has been so powerful, and I know just hearing from all of our pastors across our locations and in our micro churches and everything and online, there's been so much traction, and this has really just been an important conversation around our regret, and now turning the conversation towards redemption is just really exciting. I'm really excited to see how God is going to use this.
Yeah, it's been great, I think, week after week to just watch how God is just sort of sifting and pulling some things up and just watching things on the regret walls that have been written. There's just some powerful things that are happening.
Yeah.
And as we turn that corner into redemption, I love where you were parking today when you talked about the forms that it could take.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. Like maybe we just kind of sift around that a little bit. Like forms of redemption, like which one stuck out to you a little bit on that side?
I think the form that sticks out to me the most was spiritual growth and just growth in my relationship with God. I feel like any challenge, obstacle, season of hardship, or just a hard season, as long as I've walked that with the Lord, I've found just such a incredible growth in my dependence on Him and my understanding of Him. And think of it, it's like a bonding experience, right? Like when you go through a hard time with a friend or with your spouse or with a group of people, there's something that happens in your relationship that you can't create any other way. And the same is true when we walk through hard seasons of regret with God. We bond with Him in a way through that experience of hardship that transforms our relationship. So I feel like I've seen that over and over and over again in my life. Yeah. And it causes me to lean in more next time, and then more next time. And it just creates like an upward trajectory in my walk with God. Of course, it's not always perfect and sunshine and rainbows, but you know, it's really, there's a depth there because of that that couldn't get there any other way.
Yeah, and I think it galvanizes us, doesn't it? Yeah. It galvanizes us in our relationship with God, and then even with others who walk with us through that experience.
Totally.
You know, one of the other forms I think that's closely tied into that is that it's a rescheduling. Like, and I think one of the points you talked about was play the long game or play the long view. Yeah. We don't really like that, do we?
No, I don't think so. It's a right now world, right? And we want everything right now. I want stuff right now. And it's like our culture sort of builds into our impatience as people because everything is right now. Yeah. Where God just sees it so different. You know, He sees the long view. He doesn't just see today or this year. He doesn't just see our life. He sees generations. Yeah. And how rarely do we think in terms of generations? Yeah. Let alone eternity.
Yeah, that span of time, I think for us, when it's so compressed, we feel very uncomfortable in those moments as we're kind of processing, moving through the regret to redemption. And it's never fun. It's never easy. But I think when we can kind of look back, it's almost like you're climbing up out of a dip. You know, I think was it Seth Godin had a book called The Dip. When we're in the dip, we kind of sometimes want to go back to like what we've always done. But in reality, I think God just wants us to continue to climb and just walk with Him and walk with others. And then we can kind of turn around and see what He did on the other side of that. Yeah. But that doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Yeah. And it's not fun.
No. Yeah. It's not fun. It doesn't happen overnight. Yeah. But if it happened really quick, it wouldn't be very valuable either.
For sure. For sure.
Things that take time have more value. Yeah. And this is one of the ways that we value it.
There was a moment as we ended the experience where John sang that song, Turn It Around, and you broke a crayon, and we all just sort of parked in that moment. There's plenty of people that I think in that moment, I know it moved me. Like, as we sat in that moment, like, what was going on in your mind as you were processing and John was singing?
Yeah. I actually was thinking about this morning So today is Halloween, is when we're filming this. And this morning, I have 3 younger boys. With the high heights of Halloween, there's also like emotional breakdowns, I guess we could call them, in the home. And
Sugar highs and sugar lows, right?
Yeah. And so we had a bit of like a panic moment with one of our sons this morning about something small, but it was really a big deal to him. And I was reflecting on just how I handled that as a father and sort of asking God, what could I have done differently to help support him, but also encourage him forward? And so I was really reflecting on that moment from today more than I was like looking more into my past. And really, I just felt some encouragement there that His love can cover a multitude of sin, including my mistakes as a parent.
Yeah. Isn't that wonderful? Like, I was sitting not in the camera, I was sitting behind the camera. And as I was sitting there and John was playing, there was something that kind of happened, and I had shared it with the team. So I've had a relationship that's been a little bit strained, and my wife and I just decided that we were going to choose to kind of forgive, extend grace and redemption. And so that led to a conversation that happened last week. And we weren't really sure how that relationship was going to go after that, because there were some truthful things that were said, but also some love and forgiveness. And we just let it settle. As we were sitting there, I got a text from that individual, and it was just how God was just using the situation, used our extension to kind of have him deal with some of the regrets and the things that were in his life. And it was just an amazing moment. How
cool.
Even when we're recording for these moments, how God just moves in and through us through this content. Like, this isn't just something that we deliver. This is something that's a part of who we are.
Yeah, I mean, we get to have church together with like 6 people in this room. It's our own little micro church here as we prepare for community online, but it was definitely a powerful moment.
Yeah, just where the Holy Spirit was moving in and through us.
Yeah.
Well, maybe let's turn a corner just a little bit as we're sort of winding down. Like, is there ever, like, regret is heavy, but I think there's also some funny regrets in our life. Is there ever like a funny regret that you look back on now that you can kind of laugh at or go, oh, that was...
Yeah, for sure. I mean, immediately my mind goes back to college, like my years in college. Not that I regret all of that, but I think I definitely did some like pranks or like just trying to be goofy or whatever in college. Some ways that like if I could go back, that's kind of embarrassing now to think about it. I will spare you the details. But yeah, definitely I have some of those stories from that season of my life for sure, where I was just being an idiot.
Yeah, I think we've all experienced that in one way, shape, or form. Well, Ted, like, I just want to thank you just for kind of pouring out, spending a little bit of time unpacking the message a little bit further.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And just excited to see what God is going to do in and through us all through this series.
Yeah.
So,
thank you, Doug.
Thanks a lot.
Yep.
And if you want to check anything else out, everything that's going on for community, you can go to communitychristian.info. And Ted and I just want to thank you for being a part of Behind the Message this week. Thanks, and have a great week. See you later.
Doug, it's your first time on Behind the Message. How is that possible? How
I don't know.
Have you been working at community?
3 months.
3 months?
It'll be 3 months, like...
That feels like that can't possibly be
Wow. Are you kidding me?
true. No, it feels like it's been a year. 2
No.
I feel
like you've been here forever. This is great.
Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
It's a good thing. I mean that as a positive, mostly.
Mostly.
We'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
After this, meh.
Yeah, but
Just lower the expectations, it'll be okay.
It's true.
it might be another 3 months before.
There we go. That's good. Yeah. Sure.
That's how you'll know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the base